Hello everybody and welcome back to another video on my channel. My name's Kev and this is Minis by Kev. I'm a miniaturist living in New England who likes to make miniatures of a lot of different things. The light blew out in my office, so I'm using a lamp right now. The lighting is very strange. Although I feel like I say that every week and it's never any better. One day we'll get there. One day it'll be better. After working on last week's video, which if you didn't see it, this is it. I really love this, so if you haven't watched it, please go watch it. I'm really proud of this and how it turned out. After that video though, I decided I wanted to do something like a little bit easier and a little bit simpler this week, just because I need something that I can just like brain off kind of do. And the thing is, when I'm doing stuff like that, there's like a lot of math involved and a lot of like figuring things out. And this week I decided I just want to work on a floor and some walls. What I decided is we're gonna work on the 24th scale dollhouse again, which I have not been in a while. And I kind of just want to do the flooring and the wallpaper and probably the ceiling. Although I've never done a full dollhouse before, or even anything with the roof besides one thing that's not even finished. So I don't know what you're supposed to do on the roof. Do you paint it? I don't know, I guess we're gonna find out. This week, I just kinda wanna work on this. I kinda just wanna get some floors done, and I kinda just wanna get some wallpapers done, and just like chat while I do that, because I'm just mindless work today. But I don't know if I wanna do straight planks, maybe a small design. What I should say is, I kinda finally decided what I was gonna do with this. At first, I thought about maybe doing like a little witch's house, because I really like when I see people do witch doll houses. They look really nice, and there's like a lot of creativity that you can go into that. However, I've actually decided, I think, that I want to make this. I was thinking like this looks almost like a, this is not accurate. So if you are British, I'm sorry, just know this is not accurate. This looks like a British row house to me almost. And I thought about, what if the first floor is some kind of bakery? I could have like a bread oven right here, a little counter right here, and it wouldn't be very big, like a small little bakery. Like maybe I can have like a little bread oven over to the side, and then the top floor would be like their bedroom slash like relaxing room. I'm thinking kind of like Kiki's delivery service, where she has like a little apartment above the bakery. I don't remember if it's directly above the bakery or not, but if you've seen the movie, you know what I mean. So I was thinking about doing like a little bakery scene. It's gonna have to be very small, or maybe just like not even the bread oven, maybe just like some shelves with pastries and bread and stuff, and then like a counter where you pay, because looking at this, it's not very big. And I don't know if I could fit a bread oven in this. I imagine the bread ovens are very, very large. But seeing as I'm pretty sure, if I remember correctly, this came from the UK. If you haven't seen the video where I put this together, I'll link it above. I bought this at the thrift store, but I found the original person selling it, which I will also link below, her Etsy if you'd like to buy it. I believe she's located in the UK. So I felt like it was like, again, I'm sorry if you're from the UK, maybe this isn't like maybe I'm just making this up. So yeah, that's what I'm thinking. So I'm gonna go ahead and do floors and walls, and then in the future, I wanna do like the bakery section, and then like the living section, and then eventually I'll have to do the outside. So yeah, if you have any suggestions past floors and walls, because those will be done before when you're watching this video, let me know. And let me know if you think that's a good idea, if I should do something different, because I can totally pivot off just floors and wallpaper. But for now, we're gonna go ahead and get started. Turning the camera around, and let's get started on a little bakery. A little bakery in a home. I know I said I wasn't gonna do any math in this video, but then I realized I needed to look up the average length of a floorboard, because I don't want it to look completely insane in here. And it turns out that it's 1 to 7 feet, with the average being 3 feet, which would be 1.5 inches. So I kind of have to measure out a little bit, but I'm gonna eyeball this, because again, it's supposed to be kind of like a fantasy kind of whatnot. So I'm not gonna stress too much, just a general idea. This does not stand up by itself. I wish it would, because this is a top down. Where is my 1, 2, 3 block? Is this gonna work? Wait, what if I stand it up? Perfect. Okay, while I cut these, oh, I'm in a rolling chair, rolling away. While I cut these, I do want to just talk a little bit, because if you've been here for a while, you've watched a few of my videos, more than just this is your first video, stay, subscribe, you know, whatnot. But I'm curious, for people that have watched more videos of mine than just this one, I'm just curious if you like this format of video I've been doing, where I do like more live talking rather than voiceover. Because a couple of reasons I've been doing that. One, it's just easier for me in the editing, because if you make content, you know that editing's like the worst part. I do not like it. And I imagine most people don't. But it's easier for me to edit myself talking than do voiceovers. Also, doing voiceovers, I have to try and remember what was happening while I was doing this. I don't always remember, at least not remember everything. I'm generally going for like the same-ish shape-ish. I mean, some are shorter, but it's fine. Or do you prefer the voiceover? Because another thing is the voiceovers, I don't always remember what's going on, and like I said, it's harder to edit them. It takes a lot longer to get videos out. But also, I feel like if I'm doing voiceovers in the moment, I mean, not voiceovers, but if I'm talking in the moment while I'm making things, you kind of get more of an authentic, you know, reaction out of me. I tend to overthink things when I'm editing voiceovers, and I re-record things, and you won't necessarily get like my first reaction, if that makes sense. I try to, again, I'm not being fake. I'm being as genuine as I can. It's just, I'm not always like super comfortable doing the voiceover stuff, so I'm never sure. I mean, maybe it is still me. I don't know. But I'm always nervous that it doesn't sound like me, or maybe I'm like, maybe I'm just overthinking it, honestly. I have anxiety, so, you know, it would not surprise me if I'm overthinking this. But I'm just curious if you have been a viewer of a few of my videos, if you prefer this kind of talking in live while I'm crafting, making art, whatever you want to call it. Do you prefer the live talking or the voiceovers? Let me know in the comments. I would greatly appreciate it because, again, this channel is still newer. I mean, I've had it for a while, but I haven't posted regularly for a while. Like, regular posting became a thing this year. So I want to make my videos better, and I want, you know, you all watching to like them. If you think that it would be better for me to do like a voiceover, let me know. Let me know what you prefer. I'm gonna go ahead and cut the rest of these. This one's like really wonky, so I'm not gonna use that one. But I'm gonna cut the rest of these. I have a lot. I probably won't need all these actually, so maybe I won't cut all of them. But yeah, I'm gonna go ahead and cut these and then we'll be back. Now that these are all cut, I'm gonna start gluing them down. But I wanted to show, this is kind of what I'm thinking for the bakery. This is from Kiki's delivery service. Like, I like the shelves in the background, like kind of stacked. And then there's this scene where you see like all these different, I'm assuming like jams and stuff. I'm thinking of maybe doing this wallpaper, but like in paint. I need to do the base yellow first because I actually don't want to do paper wallpaper in this house. It's too small and I think the paper will look too thick on the wall because it's 24 scale. So I'm gonna start with this background yellow color and then maybe I'll do the orange stripes at some point. But yeah, this is what I'm thinking. I like this little like shelf and these in the background, the display shelves. And yeah, I don't think there's a picture of the floors, but I'm gonna go ahead and do hardwood floors either way because that's really what I want to do with this. I have a lot of these sticks that I want to glue in here, so I'm going to do that, whether or not they had that in that movie. But for now, we're gonna get started on gluing. It's gonna be very difficult actually to get a good angle of this, because I kind of need it like this to glue, but for you to see it, it needs to be like this. The struggles of recording while doing things. I talk about this more later at the end of the video, but it is incredibly difficult to record at this angle. I only have like a top down and that's actually new, which is why I'm struggling with like hitting the camera all the time. And I'm trying to get better, you know? Recording and making content is about getting better as you go on, so I'm not being too hard on myself, but man, this angle might suck, and I'm sorry. If you have any suggestions, please let me know. Maybe I need like a tripod set up behind me with it zoomed in. I don't know. I did get one of those little cameras where you can like see where you're recording, thanks to one of my friends on TikTok suggested it. So like you can like mirror your iPhone screen so you can see where you're recording on your phone. So maybe I need to do that. I don't know. We'll see. Anyway, something I want to suggest here is be careful when you're making these planks, because if you're doing something similar to this, I actually made a lot of these too similar in size, and because of that, the lines kept like lining up, if that makes sense. The split in the boards were lining up row to row, and I didn't want that. I wanted them to be staggered. So unless you're gonna make every single one the same and you're gonna do like a brick pattern, which I didn't want to do, I wanted to do more like random. If you're going to do brick pattern, it doesn't matter. But if you're going to do random like I did, just make sure that you're being careful with the size of your planks and make sure that they're not too similar, because it was difficult sometimes. I had to rip up some, I had to cut some smaller, make some longer ones, and in the end I think it looks like fine, but it was a little bit harder than it needed to be, and that was honestly my fault. I did that to myself. So just make sure, depending on what you're going for, like what kind of pattern or anything, just be careful with what length you cut these. Honestly, a brick pattern would have probably been 10 times easier. So maybe, you know, the brick pattern if you want something easy. I'm to a point in this now when I have to worry about the door jamb or the door frame, and I don't really know what to do. I also realized I should have painted this base layer. I talked about making this mistake a lot last time, my last video. Didn't paint the base layer, so hopefully you can't see it through the floorboards. And then also realized I probably should have painted the walls first. That is what it is at this point. I wasn't planning on staining these anyway. I was just gonna paint them, but it would have been easier had I done the walls first. But I need to figure out how I'm gonna do this. Luckily this fit really well in here. Like it's the perfect size for this many popsicle sticks or whatever these are, stir sticks. This is where it's going to become an issue. I also never realized how difficult it is to record and do things in a 24th scale house, because I'm not used to working in this small of a scale, and trying to record in here is insane. Like my hand is bigger than this entire room, so it's very difficult. Going to finish this row and then kind of trying to figure out what I'm doing in here. It's kind of hard to tell, but there is a little bit of a dip right in here that you would have to cut into these popsicle sticks, but instead, I remembered from last week's video, I have these matchsticks I didn't end up using, and I cut one to fit perfectly in here, and so now I can just go from there. I think that this will work a lot better, and I don't have to worry about trying to get this to cut a million tiny little pieces out of these sticks. So I'm gonna glue this in and then I'm gonna keep going with the floor. They fit for the most part. The very edge, I ended up having to use some matchsticks to kind of fill in the gap here. And that's a little unfortunate because it does stand out a little bit, but I'm wondering if I could just add some shelving to this wall or something. I obviously won't be able to do it too close to the door. Maybe I could do a shelf. I wish that this was on this side because then I could have hidden it behind a complete shelf, but I didn't know this was gonna happen because I didn't measure it first. That's my fault, it's on me. So I'm gonna try and cover this as best as I can when I end up putting stuff in the room at a later point. But for now I need to, what is that? The strap to my camera. Go ahead and, the strap to my camera is getting in the way. Even this out. So I'm gonna go ahead and Dremel this to just be even, and then the flooring will be done. I mean, minus painting. I've already sanded it a little bit because I had a lot of glue on it. It's still drying though, so maybe I should wait to Dremel it, but we'll see. Also, forcing this matchstick in here did separate this a tiny little bit. So I put some glue in there. You can't really see it, but I did squirt some glue in here to get it to hold a little bit stronger. I don't know if I'm gonna do the upstairs today or not. I don't know, we'll see. We'll see how I feel, because doing the upstairs took a lot more of the sticks than I thought. Yeah, we'll see. We'll see how I feel when I get done with this floor. This is just a reminder that if you're using a Dremel tool or any other sanding tool, since mine's not even a Dremel, it's a different brand, make sure you're always wearing the proper safety equipment, which means both eyes and lungs, because this thing will make a lot of dust, a lot of like little particles that you don't want to be breathing in, and it will go all over everything, and that includes your camera or whatever you may have around. So if possible, also maybe make sure you have an air filter going, but make sure you're always safe. I'm going to try something I've never done before, and I'm going to try and do a brown wash on the floor instead of staining it or just painting it. I've seen people say you can do floors this way, and I've just never had a chance to try it. So we're going to try it today, and you're going to watch me in real time. I'm mixing it off screen. See if I'm going to completely hate this or not. You'll know my immediate reaction, as I'm not good at hiding that, and I'm not good at just deciding I'm hating something and moving on pretty quickly from it. So I'm a little worried that this paint is not mixing in. Okay, this is not really mixing very well. I don't know if it's the paint I have or what. I don't really know what color I was going for here, but this is a very dark brown, and I don't want the paint to actually come off. This looks like just regular paint, to be honest. I'm gonna actually practice on something else for once and see, which, you know, I never do. That just looks, that's just paint. That's just paint, right? Let's see how this dries. Or maybe if I wipe it off. I mean, it definitely did something. It's quite dark though. I don't really like how that looks. I think it needs more water. I think I need more water. I need to water down the color. The mic cut out, but I just said I just have to kind of go with it. So it's gonna look a little dark, but it will lighten up as it dries. Here goes nothing. I need to make sure I get in the crevices because I forgot to paint between them at first. Okay, so it looked really dark at first, but as I drag it, the further it goes, the less dark it looks. It's still a little dark, but it's not crazy dark like I thought it was going to be. Still kind of hard to get in some of these crevices though. I'm hoping that the sanding I did was enough to get rid of the glue that was left behind. This is very hard to record, by the way. I have like just enough water to do this. Good thing. Didn't panic. Here you can see that I didn't get all the glue off when I was sanding, so it didn't really stick to some of the spots, but I don't think I'm going to stress too much because I think I'm going to put the counter in the back here, so that way the, what is this called? Window is behind the counter, and I'm going to have like a rack along this wall. Now that I'm saying that, yeah, I think that's what I'm going to do. Maybe. Or do I want to do the counter here, cover this entire wall in shelves, like in Kiki's delivery service. It was behind the people at the counter, and I liked how that looked. But either way, this will be covered, so I'm not too stressed about it. I'm gonna go ahead and move on. It's mostly dry. Yeah, my hands are just dirty from paint, but it's mostly dry. I'm happy mostly with how this turned out. I like that it's like different varying colors, so it doesn't look super uniform. So overall, yeah, I'm happy with the paint wash. Now it's time to move on to the walls. Not doing the ceiling, because I don't really know what to do with the ceiling yet. I'm not gonna do the ceiling, but we're gonna go ahead and do the walls now. Even though it's not completely dry, I'm pretty sure it's mostly dry. I'm not gonna think about the fact that this might rip up some of the stain or paint or whatever, but I put this down so that way I don't get yellow on the floor, and we're gonna go ahead and paint the floor. Yeah, I mean the wall's yellow. I have this color that's gonna be the base color, and this color that's gonna be the stripes. Let's go ahead and get started on the base color. It is not mixing very well. I think this is old, and it's technically meant to be an exterior paint, but it's okay. No one's gonna know. No one but us. My original plan when I first started this wasn't to like completely match the Kiki's Delivery Service bakery, but the more I looked at it, the more I liked it, so I just kind of wanted to go with it. And they do have the yellow wall with the stripes, so I'm just gonna go in with that and go from there. I don't know if I'm gonna completely match everything that's in that movie. I mean, I'm not gonna match it, but I don't know if I'm gonna use it that much as a reference for everything in this room or house, but I did really like the way that looked. So that's why I'm going with the yellow. And I do like the way this looks. I think it's nice and bright. For, you can't really tell, can you? It's nice and bright for a bakery.
It seems like in every single one of my videos, I have these really long sections of me just painting for some reason, and I'm not gonna make you watch me 4-minute paint just the same base color yellow, because that would be pure torture. However, I will say really quick while I have you here, a captive audience, that, like I said earlier, do you prefer these voiceovers? Do you prefer the in the moment? I feel like I'm getting better at voiceovers. I feel like I'm becoming more comfortable, a little more chaotic though, to be honest, but that's kind of just like more me. I'm not super formal all the time, which could be a problem, I guess, for some people that want like really specific how-to videos that are really like calm and you know. But I'm not that person. So there are plenty of those people out there. If you want to watch those instead, I will not hate. I will not judge. I will just be a little sad. But anyway, do you like the voiceovers? Do you like the live commentary as I'm going? Just let me know. And anyway, here's the end of this section. I'm not gonna make you watch me paint anymore.
It is the next day. My desk is a mess. Ignore that. But I have just lightly sanded the walls. They dried overnight and I lightly sanded them because they were a little textured, and I'm gonna go ahead and put another coat on now and hope that it evens this out, because it is like a little spotty, but I'm trying to be good about not overdoing it. I'm doing light coats, which I'm known to not have a lot of patience, which is a bad thing for this kind of thing. Like when you're making these kinds of things, you should have some patience. I don't have any. But I'm gonna go ahead and do another coat. I actually think I need to sand a little bit more right here. But then I'm going to do a light coat and we're gonna let that dry. All right, we're dry except for 2 spots that I had to go back over, but for the most part it's dry, which means now I have the task of taping off the walls so I can do the stripes in this other yellow color to more accurately match the Kiki Delivery Service bakery. Which again, I'm not like trying to match it perfectly, but I do really like the yellow stripes. I don't know how close it's going to look though, and I don't know how far apart to do the stripes, and yeah. So I think what I'm gonna do is measure this, cut a bunch of the frog tape, and just have the stripes be this thickness apart from each other, and maybe just like kind of eyeball the size between the 2 frog tapes, if that makes sense. I'll try that. I'm just gonna go ahead and start with cutting some pieces of this and trying to, yeah, just go, I'm gonna cut a piece of those and then go from there. All right, I put the tape on here, and these aren't like all even, and they're not even all straight, but that's okay, because I kind of want to look like whoever moved in here was doing the best they could, which is exactly what I'm doing, the best I can. Now I'm going to paint down another layer of this base yellow, because I read a line somewhere like if you want to take the tape off, you have to put down the base layer so it doesn't bleed. A layer of base color on all the stripes, and then the darker yellow, and then I'm gonna rip them all off. So let's start with the base layer.
Something funny is I thought that the yellow paint inside my little paint palette at the bottom actually kind of looks like Dijon mustard, like so much so that I was like, am I painting with Dijon mustard? It really, really looks like Dijon mustard. Anyway, one thing I'm a little worried about is, a little spoiler alert, I guess. I do like how this ends up looking, although, keep this in mind, I'm a little worried that it looks a little like too circusy tenty. But a lot of it's going to be covered up anyway once the room has stuff in it. So maybe this isn't really something I need to be worried about. Let me know. Do you think it's too circusy? Do you think it's too circusy? It might be too circusy.
Okay, here's the point where I'm going to take off all of the green. It's not completely dry. Somebody said once that like if you peel it, well, it's not completely dry. It could like crack or something. I'm a little nervous about this part, to be honest. I'm not going to lie. But we're going to go ahead and do it. And I actually don't know. Try not to shake the camera. Don't know how to do this. Wasn't expecting this to be so difficult. Here we go. Oh no. Okay. Do this. Let's not be nervous. Okay, that kind of worked. It's not perfect, but I like the way it's looking. Also, I need to stop banging the stupid camera. Okay, how do I get the back ones out? I don't know. Let's do this side. Okay, that's how it's looking. I've decided I need to do something here, because there's a splotch here that I need to get rid of, actually.
I touched up the wall a little bit, I fixed the floor a little bit, and then I called it done.
That is that on that, and we are done with this room. well, the floors in the initial wall of this room. And I really like how it turned out. To be honest, I'm actually quite happy with how the like frog tape worked. I've never gotten it to successfully work before, like in real life. Well, this is real life. I mean, house stuff. It always ended up bleeding. So the fact that I figured out or like followed all the advice that you see online to paint the base color first really helped. Following the suggestions that you hear online really helped. And I like how it turned out. Okay, so realistically, these lines are not evenly spaced, so they're not all the same size, and they're not even all the same thickness all the way from one end to the other. I'm okay with that. For instance, this entire wall over here, this one, nope, this one, is going to have so many shelves that it's going to basically be covered in the end. So there's going to be shelves here, and then no, what's still wet? What the heck? What's wet in here? I don't know how I just got paint on myself, but okay. This entire wall over here is going to have tons of shelves, and then coming off right here, there's going to be the little counter that you would buy stuff at, and then on the other wall is going to have some more shelves. Not as floor to ceiling-y that I'm thinking as this one. This one's going to be like behind the counter, completely full of stuff. So a lot of the walls you probably actually won't even see. So is it a waste to cover up these floors, this wall? Maybe. I really need to figure out something to do with this door. I'm thinking I want to add a magnet because it just constantly is moving. I like that it opens, but it needs to like not be constantly moving on me. But if you look really close, I do really like how, you can't really see, can you? If you can ignore how ghost white I am, I really like how this turned out, the flooring in here. And I just overall like this room. I'm liking this room. I think that what I need to work on next is either the shelving or the counter. I'm thinking maybe the counter because everything's gonna be kind of based around the counter. So I think I need to make the counter next. I'm really quite happy actually with this and where we're going. It's not perfect, but that's totally okay. I want it to look homemade, kind of if you were to do your own homemade wallpaper with stamps. I've always wanted to do that in a real house. I'll probably never get a chance because it's like, it looks crazy hard, but I wanted it to look like the people that lived here were kind of DIY-y. Like they were taking this into their own hands. Now the counters and stuff, I don't know if I can make it look like that. Maybe the paint jobs or something, I don't know. But overall, see, look at this, put my thumb right through the door. Overall, I'm happy. I think it looks nice. It looks a little strange just looking at it, and then this room's like completely empty. I'm thinking about maybe doing like a sky blue color up here. I haven't decided yet. And also, suggestions for the roof. Do I just paint it yellow? And like not do the stripes, but like the lighter yellow? Do I paint it a different color? I'm not good at like roofs. Also, one thing I've learned from this project, I now fully understand why they tell you to paint and prime these before you put them together. It was kind of a nightmare. Like my 24th scale, especially my hands, I could only fit one in here. And when I'm trying to get something like really exact, it was very difficult. And to try and record that was also very difficult. This is a very difficult project to try and record inside of. So people that really do 24th scale, I am in awe of you. And the people that do even smaller scale is just shocking to me because I'm really a 12th scale person through and through normally. This is nuts. So I applaud everyone that works in this scale. So there's the house, there it is, and that is that on that. That's it for this week's video. If you like me or you like miniatures, make sure you hit that subscribe button below, and I will see you all in my next video. Goodbye. Do I do this? Goodbye. Nope, 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 nope. Goodbye.